Hi guys, welcome back. So back in the studio finally, back from France of all places where the action is happening later in the year. And we've got another squad that's going over to France, this time from South Africa. And yes, there's some big injuries missing from this squad, but it's still a crazy strong squad. Let's not make any bones about it. This squad could absolutely go back to back and win the World Cup again. But certainly headlines will be about the players that are missing. I would say Andre Pollard is the biggest one missing there, just not recovering from injury in time. In fact, all these players are going in a group of standby players to Europe. Andre Pollard, Ikanuam and Ludiaga, the big names. If there is an injury to the squad, they can jump straight in. What great replacements, but they're not going in the official squad. So Andre Pollard, he would have been the starter at 10 because he gives you that all-round game, the reliable kicking, the big defence, and he can run the ball as well. We'll talk about the remaining 10s because that could be an issue. Ikanuam was probably going to be the starting 13. He was working his way back into fitness, maybe not quite on top of his game, but he was getting there, and that's a big blow as well. And Ludiaga on top of his game would be the starting second row with Etzebeth, but they do have quite a lot of strength there, so that's not so much of a disaster. But there is some good news on the injury front. It looks like Siya Kolisi, they are confident he's going to be fit for the World Cup, even though he hasn't played yet. They're going to want to get him games, but he goes captaining the squad, so that is good news. But anyway, let's get into this squad because there's plenty of interesting things. Straight away in the front row, they're not taking as many front rows as other nations will. Only 5 props and 2 hookers. I think they can do it with 5 props because Trevor Unikane can play both sides. It looks like Thomas Totoy is missing out there. Let me know if you think this is the right selection, but it looks pretty good to me. Kitsoff and Oxenche as the loose heads, Koch and Maherba as the tight heads, and Unikane who can maybe play both sides. Hookers, it looks like there's only 2 with Mbanambi and Marks as the out-and-out top 2 anyway. And it's going to be Dean Fourie, I'm pretty sure, who's going to cover hooker, kind of back row hooker. They haven't gone for Dweba. It doesn't look like they trust him, like many of you guys don't either. Fourie may well get a game in the group stages, but it's going to be Mbanambi and the Marks show for sure. Locks, yes, they're missing Ludiaga, but it's still a great lineup with Etzebeth, the main man. RG Sneijman coming right back into form, looking so good, wanting to make up for injury disappointment in the last World Cup. Mostert is obviously the 5th second row if they need him. But the 2 guys who came in right at the beginning of the Rugby Championship and have done a great job, Jean Klein, who they've kind of taken away from Ireland. He's a South African and he's been playing fantastically well. So maybe one that Ireland are looking at that got away. And Uri's been playing pretty solidly as well. I think he's the one that has come in for Diaga, who's maybe kind of taken advantage of that, but still very strong, like I said, with Mostert if they need another second row. 6 loose forwards, maybe a one more than other nations bring, but they do play a 6-2 split, plus you've got Fourie and Mostert as well, so maybe make that 8. So yeah, to play the 6-2 split, you do need more loose forwards and versatile forwards, so it makes sense. Pieter-Steph du Toit is obviously the main man at blindside, Siya Kolisi, the captain. Will he get back into fitness and reclaim that open side spot? You think he would if he gets a game or 2 under his belt and he comes into the knockout stages maybe as open side. Quagga Smith is very good there as the extra forward who maybe will get into the back sometimes at some point in the World Cup. Van Staden there has been good at open side, and then the 2 number 8s for Vermeulen and Visa. Roos really never really got a look in, to be fair, and Jean-Luc Dupree was never really in the picture, so it kind of makes sense, but it looks like Dwayne Vermeulen is the main guy at 8. Into the backs, very interesting. 4 scrum halves. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see this in most other squads or any other squads. Why are they doing it? Well, help me out, let me know. I'm kind of guessing it's because Grant Williams has to go through return to play protocol from his HIA, etc. So maybe they really want him fit, but they're not kind of banking on it, so they're taking an extra scrum half. It does suck up an extra position, but they have saved in other places like the front row. Faf de Klerk, Hendrikse, Reinach may be a little fortunate to go. Hendrikse, they haven't got in many games as well. Maybe that's a consideration. And also maybe some of these players have to cover other positions. Maybe even Faf de Klerk's an emergency 10 as well. I don't know. So let me know why you think they've taken 4. Those are my theories. Fly halves. No Pollard. Libbok is the main man. Probably the one out-and-out fly half. He can be fantastic. He can be a bit shaky. Goal kicking again could be issue with both of these fly halves, Libbok and Willemse. Willemse obviously covers 15 and 13, but would you want to start him if Libbok got injured? It is a big risk. Let me know if you think it's too risky, if they could have done something else. Centre's only 3, but then Willemse can play 13, Moody can play 13, so you've kind of got 2 12s and 2 13s, although you could, without Am, maybe even play Dielendi and Esterhuizen in the same midfield. I wonder if they experiment with that in the group stages at some point. But Creel there looks like the starting 13 now. And many, when we started the Rugby Championship, said, no, Creel, just don't get him in the squad. But he's been playing okay, but he's going to have to go some to replace Am. And then plenty of danger in the outside backs. That position is looking really strong. Arenza, Colby, Leroux, Mapimpi, Moody, a great mix of speed and experience and height. Really, really good. Maybe missing an out-and-out power player, but they've got that power everywhere else, so it doesn't really matter. Leroux is probably going to be the starting 15, but you could play Colby there, could play Willemse there, probably Willemse the second 15. We said Moody maybe be covering 13 as well, but whatever way you want to go with it, it's a really good back three. So, a very strong squad, but a few question marks with those injuries. If those guys had been fit, you would have said this squad is absolutely tip-top. But if they get an injury to Libbok, or if Libbok has a off day, could be an issue. What are they doing with those 4 scrum halves? Let me know all those comments below, and I'll catch you next time.